Welcome, Amakhosi Network. Welcome to the channel. Today we talk about the week that is coming. Our lovely team Kaizer Chiefs is going to be playing this week, and we're going to chat about the players that we're looking forward to seeing. We're going to be chatting about a lot of things just to unpack the week. It's going to be a good week. I hope our first game on Sunday goes well. I really hope we get that 3 points against Stellenbosch. And we also, since we've already seen Stellenbosch play their first game, we can also take some insight from that. But before we get into that, please like, comment, and subscribe. If you didn't hear, let me tell you now that Kaizer Chiefs apparently played on Sunday against Siwelele FC, and we drew 1-1, and apparently Flavio scored. I saw some highlights from the goal, from the game. I think we played at, is it Rand Stadium there? I think it's in Dobsonville. We played there. I saw some highlights from the game on X. I didn't see the Flavio's goal, but I saw like the passing movement. If you want to get an idea of what that looked like, it was more or less what we saw against Asan Tokotoko. So yeah, that pretty much sums it up. Because lately a lot of you guys have been saying, you're too negative. You are negative, Mr. Negative. Anyway, I just wanted to say this, guys. No Chiefs fan, when they talk about Chiefs, wants to be negative. A lot of us love Chiefs. Some of you, when you hear a bad comment about Chiefs, you feel touched because it's the team you love. Others, when you hear bad comments, and when I say bad comments, let me be specific. Criticizing, not bad mouthing. I don't want to come out and say Matt is a cow. I think you guys would have seen from the channel, I don't go out and call people cows and stuff like that. But I do say quality versus what Chiefs need is not good enough. That's what I try to say. Yes, sometimes here and there, maybe I may slip up. But in essence, those who listen to this channel will know that that's what I try to say. I try to emphasize the good and the bad. And unfortunately, we're in a place right now where the bad is outweighing the good. And the bad is outweighing the good. Why? Because we finished 9th. And we finished 10th in the previous season. Which means we're a mid-table team. We're not even a top 8 team. And if you think I'm being negative by addressing that, then I don't know what you want from me as a Kaizer Chiefs fan. Because when I started watching Chiefs, and the Chiefs that I know and most Chiefs people know is a team that doesn't finish outside top 3. That is the Chiefs we know. A bad season for Chiefs is number 3. That has always been what we were used to. But now, I think the best finish we've had in the past few years was us finishing number 5 under Athazwane and Middendorp getting us to number 2. So in the span of 5 years, we've honestly not been doing great in the span of 5 years. And it's unfortunate, but it is what it is. But you know what? Let's talk about the season that's coming. I want to first touch on the players that I'm really looking forward to. I want Flavio to prove me wrong. If there's a player out there who I'm not feeling confident about, but I want him to prove me wrong, I want him to make me eat humble pie, I want him to come out there and really blow us away in the PSL with the goals he can score. Why do I say this? Because the truth of the matter is that Flavio was developed in very good academies in Portugal. Flavio was developed in Benfica, a very strong development in Portugal. Flavio was a Portugal international during his young years, I think under 16 or whatever the thing was. So Portugal has always viewed him as a top talent that's going to come out of there. For whatever reason, his career just didn't take off. But it means that there's something there. It means that there's attributes that he has that he can really give to Chiefs and we can benefit from them. So that's why I want him to make us eat humble pie. I want him to score. Yes, my feeling towards him is not a positive feeling, and that's just me. What I've seen of him, etc., etc. I don't get confidence watching him, but I want him to prove me wrong. Right? That's all I want him to prove me wrong. And I know a lot of you are going to say, but it doesn't owe you nothing. No Chiefs player owes you. I'm like, yeah, true. You're right. No Chiefs player owes me anything. But at the same time, if you're gonna come be a striker at Chiefs and you're a foreigner and you finish the season on 5 goals, I'm not gonna be happy with that. And that's just me. I'm speaking for myself. I need 10 goals from a foreign player. That's what I need. But anyway, the next, this is the player who I think is gonna be the surprise of the season. I really feel Chislet is going to be the surprise of the season. I know a lot. I don't want to talk about Ndlovu is probably going to be our best signing. Most likely, Ndlovu is going to be our best signing. Monyan is probably also going to be our best signing. Mark. Those ones, I have no questions about them. When I say surprise, I mean the player that no one is expecting or thinking much of, and that player is going to surprise everyone. And I think that's Chislet. And this is why. Chislet is a very technical player. When I say technical, he does the basics to the extreme. And what happens is that in South Africa, Chislet, still has to get used to how South Africans play, how South Africans move off the ball, etc., etc. So I think that is also going to take some time because if we have to be honest, we play more similar to Portugal, which is where Flavio comes from, than we do to England. England oftentimes has hard workers, but they're not exactly the most talented. But because of their hard work and doing the basics to the extreme, these guys can end up being top goal scorers, best defenders, best midfielders, because they know how to do the basics well. And that's what I expect Flavio. I mean, not Flavio, Chislet. Chislet, when I watched him in preseason in Netherlands against very tough opponents, he was giving assists. Say what you want. He gave Morris a nice assist. He gave Serino a nice assist. Chislet was giving assists. The only thing is maybe the reading of the game. Reading Chislet's movements was not there with him and his teammates. There's still a disconnect between him and his teammates. But I really think he's going to be the surprise of the season. And I wouldn't be surprised if he starts against Stellenbosch. But yeah, in terms of the Stellenbosch game, I'm going to try to avoid to give a prediction against Stellenbosch because I want to see Nabi's strongest team. I've seen what Stellenbosch's strongest team has looked like, but I don't know what Nabi's strong team has looked like because throughout watching preseason, I can't really tell what Nabi's plan is. I've seen him play with Mthethwa, Ngobo, Cele, all of those things, but I don't know if that's his strongest team because in the second half, he always puts in players like Serino, etc. And that feels like our best attacking options, but he never plays them with our best midfield options, which is like Abucele. A part of me has been wishing that the reason why he plays these completely different teams is because he wants both teams in to be competitive in the first half and the second half. He doesn't want the standard between the first team and the second team to be so low that he gets nothing out of it, which is why I feel like he would give Serino more chance to play with the second team. They may not be as good, but because of his talent, they can at least give a good account of themselves. Whereas if he just did a thing of playing Serino and all of the top quality guys, Lilepo in the first half of games, and then in the second half, he just puts in the players that he's not so confident about, then maybe it drops the standard of the game too much, and Nabi maybe didn't want to have that. But yeah, Stellenbosch, we watched them. We know the usual suspects who are going to be threats: De Jong, Devon Titus, Sanele Barnes. Those are the usual suspects. In terms of defense, when I watched them, look, I'll say this. When I watch Stellenbosch, I feel like it's one of those games where I feel like you always have a chance to win. Stellenbosch doesn't look like a team that can dominate you, but it looks like a team that is clinical. And that's the one thing I picked up from Stellenbosch. So I don't go into the Stellenbosch game thinking that I'm going to win, but at the same time, I don't feel like I'm going to lose. So I feel like that. And what would a good result for Nabi be against Stellenbosch? And I have to be honest, a good result for Nabi against Stellenbosch is most probably a draw. A draw is probably a good result against Stellenbosch. And I'll tell you why. In the 5 games we were playing, I think we're playing 3 weaker teams. We're playing Sundowns and we're playing Stellenbosch. When you look at that in a nutshell, The three other weaker teams, I expect us to get 9 points from. And then there's Stellenbosch and Sundowns. Sundowns, I can take the loss, even though I never go into the Sundowns game expecting a loss. I'll always go into a Sundowns game believing that I can win. I don't know how I'm going to win, but I believe I can win. But if we talk about most likely result, also basing this on what we saw last season, that we lost both league games, etc., then we can say most likely we can lose that game. So if we take away 3 points, that means we are out of five games. We would have won 3, drawn 1 with Stellenbosch, and lost against Sundowns. And that would mean that Nabi would be on 10 points in 5 games. And for me, that would be a good start for Nabi. A very, 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 very good start under Nabi. For Nabi. What I feel like is a bad result for Nabi is him starting the season with 2 out of the first 5 games, him starting the season with 2 losses and 2 losses and 2 draws. Things like that, I think he'll get fired. 2 losses, 2 draws, he'll get fired. He needs at least a bad start for Nabi has to be him getting 9 points, or it has to be 9 points. Like, I think that must be a bad start for Nabi. When I say bad start, it just means that he won 3 games, he lost 2 games. That must be a bad start for Nabi. But this thing of saying he will have 7 points, it will be not a good thing to have. But yeah, all I can say is that the team is going to do well. It's going to be interesting. I'm ready. The MTN 8 showed that there's a lot of teams that we can beat. When I watched MTN 8, I saw Amazulu look strong but beatable. I saw Sekhukhune look strong but beatable. Stellenbosch look strong but beatable. Polokwane look strong but beatable. Richards Bay, I honestly feel if you lose points against Richards Bay, it's on you. You must blame yourself. Out of all the teams that I watched this past weekend, the one that I feel like surprised me the most, and it will make a lot of people laugh at me when I say this team, because looking at the result, and that is going to be Polokwane City. Polokwane City actually surprised me. Yes, they were outplayed by Pirates, but in the moments that they actually put passes together, they moved the ball forward, they really did well against Pirates. The only problem is that I don't know. The final third is always a problem with South African teams. I don't know why, but yeah, final third is not where we shine. And this is across the PSL. And I think that's one thing we've been highlighting for many years, that South Africa just does not produce strikers. And that's the unfortunate thing, or goal-scoring wingers. I don't even know how most seasons teams get by. But yeah. That's what I saw from this weekend. It looks like the league is going to be interesting. My let's say my opinion, that is a way too early prediction. Way too early, meaning that this prediction is so early that it's even stupid to predict, is that Sundowns is going to win the 9th league. That is a way too early prediction.